Hey everybody, greetings to Tokyo. This is the Kotaku Driving License Center. It says so up there if you can read that. And I went in here to renew my license about 2 hours ago and I just came out. The whole process took about 2 hours. You're not allowed to film or take pictures in there, but that's what it looks like. And over the next 15 minutes or so, I'm gonna go over the process of renewing your driver's license in Japan, your Japanese driver's license, and what it requires to do that. Because I was really nervous about this, and I don't even know why. I thought maybe there was gonna be an exam, or I wouldn't understand anything that was going on, but I'll tell you the process. We're gonna go over that right now. So, inside of there, I got these two books. We're gonna take a look inside of them, as well as this exam that they gave me, which freaked me out. And then this process all started. I got this in the mail. So right before you renew a driver's license, you'll get this. I don't know if I could show you the front of it, but you'll get this paper in the mail. It opens up, and it has a list of where to go. Kanai circled that for me. Hey, back down there. Kanai circled where to go. This is the one that I could go to here in Kotaku. I believe it's Kotaku, or is it Meitoku? And so that's where I am right now. And you bring this with you. You bring your driver's license, and you want to bring a proof of ID, which is your residence card, or even your passport. They could use it as a piece of identification. You go in. It was funny because everybody just knew what to do. You just follow this line. They do such a great job in Japan of guiding you through. Inside this building here, here's a side view of it. They do a really great job of just guiding you through this whole process. So I waited in line. I went to the front of the line. I gave them the piece of paper that I just showed you and my driver's license. They gave me they copied it, made a copy onto that piece of paper. They gave it back to me and said, please fill this out and bring it back. So I filled out my name. Everything's in Japanese, by the way. If you can't do this and you can't speak Japanese, or you have problems writing your address in Japanese, bring somebody with you who can speak Japanese, except they're gonna have to suffer for the entire 2 hours if you're renewing from a beginner's license to a standard license, like a normal license. So I wrote in my address. I made sure everything was okay. I kakunin, confirmation. Then I took the paper, handed it back to them, and they gave me, and I had to pick, which is weird. I had to pick these random numbers. Any numbers are okay, but you just have to remember them. They gave me this printout sheet. I don't even know why they do this. And then you have to keep that sheet with you. So then you'll have two pieces of paper, a thin sheet, and then this sheet with your numbers on it. It's a lot of stuff. So you take this and I'm doing what I did inside of there. You take the papers and you walk to the next booth. They tell you which number the booth is. They'll say Nanaban. So I say, okay, number 7. So I went to Nanaban with my paper and my sheets, yeah. And I believe it was to pay. Hold on a second. All right, so I paid 3,870 yen, I think it is. Hold on a second. I have the receipt here. It wasn't cheap. I don't know what it costs for you to... Okay, here it is right here. Here's the receipt that they gave me. I paid in cash 5,000 yen. It's the renewal fee is $25 or 2,500 yen about, and then there's I guess it's for a beginner. The course that you have to pay for that the professor of driving gives you is $13.50 or 1,500 yen. So altogether, it's 3,850 yen, which is kind of, I guess, normal for renewing a license, right? I don't know if that's considered too expensive, but so I paid it. I got the receipt, and then he said go to number 9. They tell you the number, Kyuban. So it's good to be able to count from 1 to 10, at least in Japanese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just make sure you can do that. So he said Kyuban. So okay. So I got in line. This made me a little bit nervous because I had no idea what I was getting into. You have an eye test, right? And in this eye test, it's not like the E ones that they do in the West. They just have a circle, and in the circle is a opening in it. Is the opening up, down, left, or right? So you have to know in Japanese, ue, shita, This is my hidari, migi, right? Hidari is left, migi is right. So you have to be able to tell the guy in Japanese, look at the circle, it'll highlight, he'll go, ue, migi, shita, hidari. And I got one wrong because I was looking at the wrong thing. I didn't realize that it's the one that's illuminated. I just kept going down the list, and he passed me. He said, okay, you're good. So the guy, after I finished the eye check, I went in and another guy confirms it, and he goes, do you have contacts or glasses in Japanese? And I said, nai, nothing. He said, okay. And he gave me a stamp. So he confirmed it and he gave me the stamp. So then I walked around, and again, you have to go around, and then I went into the photo taking area. And once again, there's another line. Everyone you just kind of know where to go. It's pretty intuitive. They've thought this through. So I got into the next line. I was at number 11, I think. And I asked there's a girl behind me, and I asked her, is this for photographs? She goes, I don't know. And then she asked the guy behind him, and he said yes. And then she left the line because she already had her photograph. So I guess if you already have a photo of yourself, you don't have to have one taken there. You have the option of the free photo with the blue background, or you can bring your own, I guess. So she brought her own, and she left the line, and I got my picture taken. But before they did that, I had to confirm all the information, and they took my old license, and they invalidated it. They put a hole through the license. So now no longer can I use my old license, but I got to keep it, which is pretty cool. And after they invalidated my license, the lady told me to wait here. So I waited, and then she said something. I couldn't understand it, and then I just followed her. There's a mirror, but there's no time to check yourself. So if you got to put on makeup or whatever, it's license photo. You're supposed to look really bad. Just do it before you get there, because it happens very quickly. All right. I always have like a permanent smile on my face like this. I just always have that. So I had that, and they didn't tell me not to do it. So I tried to get away, because in Japan, they don't want you to smile in the photos. So like, how far can you go before they bust you, right? So like, I didn't do that. I tried to. The only thing she said was to get my chin down a little bit, and then I was able to take the photo, and it came out okay, I guess. It's better than the last one. I wasn't ready for the last one, but I was a little bit ready this time. All right, so you got the photo taken, but you don't see the license yet. Next, you got to go into another line, and then the guy goes, go upstairs. So I went to the next floor. It's like a process. It's like a factory. So I went up to the second floor. You guys taking notes on this? If you're taking a driver's license, you're going to want to write this down. So I got up to the next floor, and there's nobody there. And the guy goes like this. I guess these are all classroom instructional, like seminars that you have to take. All right. So he's like this. Like, okay. So I run over to him, and he says, okay. Says, room 10. Go up this escalators and take a left and go to examination room number 10. I go, okay, hi, Sanban, hi, Juban. So I go up the escalator, Juban is number 10. So I go up the escalator and I take a left and I see examination room number 10. It's already full. And this professor or the police officer, whoever this old guy was, who had a lot of energy, which was good, he didn't seem to notice me, but I quickly went in and I went into an open chair, not in the back, but sort of in the middle to the side, be out of the way where I could scan the entire room. And then it started. The professor of driving, I got a packet of information that contained these two books, and I'll show you what they look like at the end of this. And he just started to lecture. He told us about the statistics, about how many people died. I think it was 3,600 roughly people were killed in car accidents last year, which is actually not that much considering. And 133 people died in Tokyo by automobile accidents, which is surprisingly low, isn't it? I don't know. I thought that was remarkable. Then he didn't focus on the best. He focused on statistics of the worst. And he said, what is the worst prefecture in Japan for automobile deaths? As like I could take some guesses. It's probably going to be an urban area. So some girl said in front of me, she raised her hand and goes, Osaka. And he said, what did he say? I guess for accidents it was number one or something. So she got a standing applause. So the professor asked for her to get applause. Then that was for like 2 years ago. And then he said, what about for this year? Who was the worst? For Heisei 30, which is 2 years ago. That was 3 years ago. Osaka was 3 years ago. And he said, what's the next one 2 years ago? And just like anybody could answer. So I wanted to raise my hand because I was getting excited and just rap off one of the 47 prefectures. I knew it was going to be wrong. But another guy in the middle who seemed to be a brainiac, you know, one of those know-it-all types, he raises his hand and he goes, Kanagawa. And he goes, nope. And the professor could rap off all the deaths in Kanagawa. It's pretty weird. Then he said Aichi. Aichi is where Nagoya is. And he said, all right, they're not very good. But this year it was Chiba. That surprised me a little bit because Chiba is not too far away from here. Anyways, this is what the lecture was going through. He was talking about deaths, points from the last year where the most accidents happened, just going over stuff. But it was long. In the middle of this, after about an hour or so, we got a break for 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, where people could use the restroom. You could use your cell phones. You could get a drink or something. Then we came back in, and he was very, very sharp. The time was we started at 1:10, and the break was from 2:09 to 2:24, and he wrote it on the whiteboard, 2:09 to 2:24. I thought that was funny, like to the minute, very policeman-like. So that we started at exactly 2:24 again, and we watched a video of typical accidents and things that will happen, and how to be careful with motorcyclists and bicycle riders and pedestrians. Just be really careful when you're driving. And then he went over some statistics, and then he gave us this test. This freaked me out, all right? I don't know what to do with this test. All right, this is what he gave me. Like, someone's got to share this stuff with you. Konnichiwa, how you doing, everybody? Someone's got to share this stuff with you. I'm putting the tripod down so then we can take a look at this test here. All right, here it is. All right, I started marking it here, but I didn't even have any time. I was freaking out. Like, I can read this and figure it out. Here's number one. All right, Untenchu, can you eat and drink when you're driving? And the answer is like no. Like, they're kind of easy stuff, but I don't know. I need to like translate this, and he didn't give me any time. On the back of it, there's more like situations and stuff. Are you intimidated? And I just started putting like 0 times. I just put 0 for it all. I didn't know. But the good thing is that he didn't check it, right? So that was okay. No English. There's 0 English. 0. There's nothing. There's some numbers. Can you read the numbers? Most of you can't read anything in here. Do you see it? Anything? No English. 2, A. There's ABC. That's it. So I'm like freaking out because I thought like I'm gonna fail the renewal test. Can you fail a renewal? Nah. Actually, this test was not even used. He just gave it home, and you can check your answers. So I guess they have like a little origami thing here. Here's the test, and then you can fold it over. It even tells you where to fold it, right? You fold it, and you can check your answers. After like 30 seconds, everyone was done, and they put it away. I hadn't even started, so I was kind of worried. Then he went over these books a little bit. That was unique. I thought that these books are good to have to pass out to people. Most of the stuff are statistics and things that are happening on the road. Most of the stuff that he talked about was on page 2 and 3. The deaths, the figures of the deaths that happen in Japan, the amount of accidents, the responsibilities that you have, and the people that have died in motorcyclists, bicyclists, in cars and things like that. And it just goes over a lot of statistics. You'll get this book too if you go into Renew. It's kind of neat. I like the animation, the drawings on there. Florencia couldn't read a thing, huh? Yeah, be careful of the package delivery guys. I don't know. I think this is pretty useful to go over. And then phone numbers. There's the Japanese police mascot. Hey, Rel. Good luck for your driving renewal. Thank you, Rel. And that's this book, which is the safety driving book, I guess you could call it. Anzen Unten no Shiori book. And this is the Wakaru, like the book on driving in Japan. It has more information on it. It's kind of cold out here. I gotta do this while it's all fresh in my mind. Situations that you'll be in. Definitely don't drink and drive. He kind of hammered that home, of course. But where's the one, page 90? This was kind of cool. This had all the road signs in Japan, right? So I'm probably gonna look at this tonight and just, because I like all the pretty pictures, right? It's kind of cool. Yeah. So there you go. Do not enter. Do you know any of these? Do you know what that is? There's some of these. Tomare, that means to stop. Looks like a yield sign. Yeah, there you go. Brothers Adventures has it right. Yeah. So it's pretty helpful. But they didn't really go over the book. A lot of it's just self practice and reviewing what you learned. All right. So we got done a little bit early. And the two people that got those questions right in the beginning that the professor went over, he looked like a retired police officer, but he'd done this so many times. He had a little bit of humor in it. I like that. And completely in Japanese. No English whatsoever. There was another foreigner in there. He looked like he was from the Middle East or another Asian country. He brought his son with him, and I don't know if he could understand either. I didn't get a chance to talk to him because he left early. But yeah, zero English at all. Nothing. So I think you can ask for English information. I just went through the way that everybody else did and followed the leader, which was the two people. All right, so after it, people don't like to talk, by the way. I'm very chatty. If I'm waiting in line, I'll just start talking with random people. But I tried to do that here, and most people were very shy and reserved and didn't want to talk about the driver's license renewal. You can try to make conversation with people, but I don't think anyone's there to make friends. But you never know. You can always make friends anywhere as long as you try talking with people. You just don't know what's going to happen. This is the office that I went to. After the exam, the instructor will stamp this thin piece of paper with stamp on it. And if you don't have that stamp, you can't pick up your license. On the board, they always do it by, we call like a seirikan. There's a number that they give you. But on that thin piece of paper that they gave me after I'd taken the picture and everything, it had all the confirmations and stamps that I'd passed the eye test, that I had paid, that I had my picture taken, that I completed all the steps. And after the lecture, I got another stamp for the professor. We took it up one more flight of stairs. We're on the 4th floor. So every time you're going 1st floor, 2nd floor, the guy says, go up to the 3rd floor to the lecture room, then the 4th floor to pick up your license. The guy, there's a kind of a long line, but it moves very quickly. You give that thin piece of paper with the number, give it to the guy, and the guy just gives you the license. It goes through a slot. I don't know why he does that. And then you just pick it up, you confirm all the information. You take it to a machine, and it has an IC card chip in it, like an intelligent card type of thing inside of it. You put it on this computer. This is the final step. You put your new license on the computer, and you have to enter in those 2 codes that you had created in the beginning. They gave you a piece of paper so you remember what it is. I don't understand why you need to do that, but you put in those codes, and then your driver's license comes up, and you can see it digitally on the screen. I guess this is what the police officers will get if they pull you over for speeding. Do not speed. And so you look at it, everything looks good, you confirm it, blah, 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 good. And then I'm just standing there. I don't know what to do next. There's no end button. You're supposed to just take your license and take it off of the scanner, and then you're done. And the guy next to me, and I said to him, "Owarimashita, owarimashita." He goes, "Hi, owarimashita. Owarimashita ka? Owarimashita. Are we finished?" I said, "We're finished." And I left, and I said, I better do a live stream while this is fresh in my mind. Do you have any questions about license renewal? I'm here for you. If you do, leave it in the comments below. This is part of my Getting a Driver's License in Japan series. I did it about 2 years ago. This is 2 years later, and I need to renew it today. Brendan Walker, celebrate your renewal with some new fuzzy dice in your window. Brendan, that's interesting that you said that, because I'm thinking of doing something with cars and stuff soon. I'll let you know more about that. And Paul Anthony, Bongkak, thank you very much for the Philippines. We did it, renewal. I was just very nervous about that test because there's like no way that that's gonna happen. I could actually understand about, let's say goodbye to the driving center. I could say that I could understand about 75% of it, but I know that there'll be something in there that I'll make a mistake, and I'm glad that nobody really took the test. They just kind of put it away. I'll do it at home later, right? I came here by bicycle. So that's about it. I don't have anything else to add. Let me look at the live chat here. This is part of the record. Other people are going to be looking at this. What documents do you need to renew your driver's license? You need your old driver's license, and you need a document with your address, like your residence card or your passport. I would bring your residence card that you get when you become a resident of Japan. And you need to bring the money, the card that I showed you that came in the mail. The card will come in the mail, and you have about 45 days to renew it. So you take the card in the mail, you have your ID card, about 3,850 yen, about $38 about, and your old driver's license. So just those 4 things you need. See here, we have to go through hoops to get the license. There's hoops here, but they have it like a factory, like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. It was kind of neat. So the next time I renew my license, they said if I don't have any accidents, then it's 30 minutes. It only takes 30 minutes. But if I have an accident, I have to do it like another 2-hour lecture. It went by pretty quick though. It was a fast 2 hours. I have to say it was a fast 2 hours. It has been 2 years, Scratchy Panda. $38 for 2 years. It's not too bad. How to get a gym membership video. That's next. You need a residence card and a bank account, and they withdraw. I mean, I can tell you right now. You need a residence card, a bank account, and they withdraw the money from your bank account every month, and they go over how to use the machines. That's about it. It wasn't too hard to get a gym training center card. Did you have to take the driver's test when you first moved there, or were you able to use an international license? This is from Brendan. I did something called Gaimen Kirikai, which is taking my old American license and turning that into a Japanese license, but I still had to take the manual test at the center, and I failed twice because I was doing a manual transmission, and the car that they gave me was all messed up, and I have documentation on that 2 live streams documenting my failures and why I failed and what you need to do to pass that. They gave me a very simple written test that had 10 questions on it that I passed. I think they tried to trick you, and I think I got 1 wrong. It's like, no, that's so stupid, but wait, that could be right. No, it's wrong. And they try to trick you on those 10 questions, but I got 1 wrong, so I passed. I think you have to get 8 out of... No, wait a second. I got them all right. No, I got them all right. You have to get 8 out of 10 correct, and I think I got them all right. So it was like 2 years ago. And then I could do Gaimen Kirikai. If you don't do Gaimen Kirikai, you have to go to a driving school, which can cost about like $3,000. Kanai's driving school cost about $3,000. And she still can't drive. It's kind of scary. Keep that between us. Are there any little fees for having a car? I don't know. I always rent the car. I don't own one. But I know that there are inspections. The older the car is, the higher the taxes are on the car. There's a lot of things that you have to do when you own a car in Japan. It's not really easy. That'll be another video, owning a car, right? So we're still in license renewal. She will never She will never know you mentioned it. Thank you, Outsicle. Let's get that between us. What are the speed limits so far? I think it's about 40 miles per hour, 40 kilometers per hour. Make sure it's kilometers in residential areas, 60, and then highways are 80 to 90. And then some highways are 110 now, but everyone just does like 100. It's not super fast, but it's fast enough. Any other questions? Yeah, I think that's about it. I might have missed some. Isn't 2 years a bit short, Raul Tim? 2 years is pretty short. I think now it's 3 years that I don't have to renew the visa. Sorry, the driver's license. But 2 years is for beginner's license. So if you're a Shoshinsha or a beginner, you only have 2 years, and you have a green bar. Now I have a blue bar. I don't have to have a beginner's seal, but they told me that I didn't need to do it after a year or something. It is pretty crazy. It is very expensive to get a license here. Indonesia, it's $5 for 5 years. That's Indonesia. Come on. Like Japan, it's going to be a little bit pricier. I think there's some countries that are in Europe that are even pricier than that. I mean, driving is not a right, it's a privilege. We have to remember that. But in Japan, what was remarkable is the very low amount of deaths and accidents that happen here. How safe people are with driving, how they really want to protect human life. That's like everywhere, but they really do drive that home. The seriousness of it, and how it's the driver's fault. If an accident happens, it's always the driver's fault. The fines associated, but they hammered home example accidents. The instructor inside there, he actually used the names of the people who were in the accidents, like to shame them. Like, you don't want to be this guy. All right, you don't want to be that guy. They said the name, where he's from, and his age. I thought that was kind of excessive, like privacy, but I guess if you break the law. He talked about people that have been killed, families, what people lose when you get into an accident. They really make you a little bit emotional hearing about how people had lost their lives in these accidents. That, there were 3,600 deaths in Japan, but the optimal number is 0. And they really are trying to fight to get to that 0. The numbers for the accidents are going down, guys. This is an interesting thing that I learned. Because a lot of these new cars that you see driving by have sensors on it that have auto brake and let you know when you're getting too close to cars and prevent you from accelerating because of the sensors when you're instead of braking. One of the biggest accidents happens with older people pushing the accelerator instead of the brake. So they look like they get really close and then they speed up and run somebody over. I've seen it happen. It's kind of scary with the older people. But the sensors in the cars are making it safer. And for the last 3 years, numbers have been going down, which is good. A lot less accidents. But it was an interesting experience. It took 2 hours. And I got my license. I'm now no longer a beginner driver. Take that, Kanai. Ha! She can't make fun of me anymore because now I have an advanced license. And if I'm a good driver for another, I think it's 10 years with no accidents, I get a gold license. That's right. Japan has gamified the license system. I want the gold. I'm not going to get in any accidents. I don't intend to. You never know what'll happen. But I'll be very careful, and I want that gold. Hey, nice car. I want that gold license. So get that gold band. That means something. Either A, you don't drive at all and never get in any accidents because you don't drive at all. And most people with gold licenses are like paper drivers. They never drive. Or B, they're super good drivers. And there's very few of them because all these cars that are going by right now, they are probably all blue because you get in an accident, the more miles you put, it's just inevitable. But it's kind of funny how they gamify the driver's license. I don't have a car, I rent them, and I'll be renting one in Hokkaido next week. So there you have it, everybody. That's how you renew your license. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. I hope that these series on driving in Japan, I like to do it right after it happens because you can feel the energy. you'll feel the same way maybe. Or you'll just be tired and go, it's not a big deal, and go home. Leave a comment in the questions below. We'll try to answer it. It's a community thing, so if you see somebody who has a question that you can answer yourself, go ahead and do that. Shane, thank you so much from Canada. Good job. All of you too for watching. I'll be putting this license to good use next week in Hokkaido in the snow. Wait, did I say no accidents? I'm gonna need some snow tires, everybody. Have a good day, have a good night wherever you are in the world. I hope that you're doing all well. Take a look at the last video I made on the coronavirus, and I'll probably be making another one on it very soon to give you an update. If you have any questions about that, you can also go to that video and leave a questions. I think we had about 300 comments or more. So yeah, I'm also gonna show you in another video, probably tomorrow, how to wear the mask properly. A lot of people have been saying that these paper masks have no value in preventing illness. Completely wrong. They actually do work, and I'm gonna show you why, I think tomorrow. Okay? All right, have a good day, have a good night, everybody. See you later. Enjoy traffic for the next 10 seconds. Hey, that's jaywalking.